welcome to another episode of E&FtV's Bridging the Gap. And today I'm joined by Richa. How are you, Richa?
Hi, Jason. I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. How's your week going so far? Because you've just started a new job, haven't you?
Well, yes, I just started my new job as group reservations coordinator at Home House Collection, and I'm just trying to wrap my head around everything that's going on. But the first week is over, so I think I'm a bit more confident this week.
Fantastic. And you graduate this year from University of West London?
Yes, that's correct. The ceremony is the end of this month, actually. Yeah, in a couple of weeks. So I'm graduating with first class honors, and yeah, it's very exciting.
Ah, fantastic, brilliant. So yeah, let's kick off because you're kind of doing this in your lunch break. So I don't want to keep you too long, and I do have a tendency
Yeah,
to
no,
gabble
absolutely.
on and
That's
on.
fine. That's fine.
So we normally start with five kind of quick fire, funnish questions to get the audience to get to know you a little bit. So if it's all right with you, we'll crack on with that. Um,
Yeah.
you've not been prepped on these, so this is totally kind of off the bat, which is why I love it
Okay.
because it's so fun. Um, don't be too nervous. So what's your favorite comfort food?
Well, I'm Indian, so let's take a guess. Of course, it's gonna be Indian street food for sure. I love pani
Yeah,
puri and like any breakfast items in Indian cuisine, of course. But yeah, I do like some Chinese occasionally, I guess.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
pretty
Indian.
basic.
Indian food is so comforting, isn't it? The
It
the
is
rice and naan
comforting,
bread, the spices. Yeah,
literally. I mean, there's nothing that can compare to it, obviously. But
no,
yeah.
no. We shouldn't film before lunch because it's just making me so hungry, and I'm not going to get Indian food for lunch. It's going to be some soup.
Yeah, I mean, same. I'm gonna prepare myself pasta here at work, so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Monday to Friday is not as exciting as the food that you can eat on a weekend. Okay, would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button on real life?
Hmm. I think a rewind button because there's so much going on and I want to kind of experience it all again. Like
Okay.
given the roundtable event and my new job and working my like I had a little transition period working as a host and with the reservations coordinator, so it was all happening a bit too fast and I feel like it was very exciting for me. So I feel like
Yeah.
I'd like to rewind to that again.
I can see why you say that a rewind button would be handy, especially you're thinking about your situation now where you've just started a new job and you could do with rewinding a little bit, making sure you take everything in, you don't want to miss a minute.
Yeah.
Um, when I wrote that question down, I thought about, I don't know if you've seen Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror ever. Um, no, so it's a kind of like a futuristic program. It
Mhm.
kind of extrapolates technology forward. Um, and there was one where a guy had a rewind button and he became obsessed with it. It caused him all sorts of kind of problems where he was kind of at a dinner party and he rewound it and found a few little glances between his best friend and his girlfriend, and it uncovered kind of like they'd been having an affair. And but it just, yeah, became obsessed with rewinding. So the thought of rewinding just absolutely terrifies me. So I'm going to go with a pause button on that one. Hit pause on life. What's
Just take a
your,
little break.
what's, yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's your favorite way to waste time?
Favorite way to waste time? I mean, I guess just watching movies or like nowadays, I mean, as bad as it sounds, Instagram, obviously, or YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible addiction, but I do get lost in it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
But you're a busy lady. You've worked throughout your studies, haven't you? So I suppose
Yeah.
just it's important to find those little nuggets of time where you can decompress, scroll on Instagram,
I mean,
watch
yeah,
movies.
literally, that's how it was because when I was at uni, I was working part-time. So I did get 2 days or 3 days for myself, but that was when I had to study or like look after the group presentation sometimes. So I didn't really have time. And I used to it was mostly during summer actually when I was just working and I could go on holidays like with my siblings or whatever. That was fun. But other than that, now I think I'm getting more used to the stable life, like getting weekends off or whatever. So now
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
more sorted that way.
yeah. No, it's important to find those little bits of time where you can just, yeah, I suppose just scroll a little bit. It can become too addictive, but when you're busy like you are, I think if you
I
can
mean,
kind
yeah.
of
I mean,
carve out
I
half an
get like a
hour.
couple of, exactly, I get like a couple of hours on the weekend maybe because I do try to spend time with my sister or like continue, like, talk to my family, get back with my friends and all of that. But get a couple of hours just for myself. That'd be just like resting, just like rotting in bed, doing my thing. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Coffee or tea?
coffee all day.
Yes. Oh, yes,
Coffee.
yeah.
I need
100%.
an espresso to come back to life as soon as I wake up, and another two
Yeah.
to actually go through the day. So,
Best childhood memory?
ooh, best childhood memory. I mean, I've got three siblings, so I feel like we've made like so many memories. And I feel like when my brother was really young, we used to just like it was just the four of us just hanging out all the time. Like when my parents weren't there, especially during the summer, we used to go swimming, and we used to have many mangoes after that. That's one of my favorite my childhood
Ah.
memories of my childhood. Yeah, it was just the four of us just inhaling mangoes.
Yeah, isn't it funny that sometimes the best memories are ones I mean, you spend so much on kids and parents spend so much on entertaining kids, but actually some of the best memories are, things that don't necessarily cost too much for you inhaling
Absolutely.
mangoes.
Absolutely. It's just going to be something like you enjoyed as kids, and that's going to be with you forever. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I sometimes ask my son to weigh in with a question. He was feeling particularly uninspired this morning, so regurgitated one that he's come up with previously, which is dogs or cats?
dogs.
Dogs. Okay. You got a
I
dog
don't know.
or
I
not?
feel like, sorry,
Have you got a dog?
I used to have a dog. He passed, but I don't know. I think I'm more of a dog person. I mean, I do like cats, sure, but I feel like dogs are more friendly, and I feel more connected with
Yeah.
them, and I just want to pet
Yeah.
anytime I see a dog. So,
Yeah. 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 No, I get it. I get it. And the guy next to you is not saying too much.
well, he's frozen.
Yeah, he's glitching. Okay. So you're at work obviously today. So tell
Yes, I
us
am.
you're at home house collection?
Home House Collection, that's right. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a private members club. So
Yeah.
there's two clubs which are part of a Home House of the Home House Collection, which is Home House and Homegrown. Home House is more of like a social members club where people meet up, and we've got like at least five, six restaurants and plenty of event spaces.
Yeah.
But homegrown is more of a corporate kind of a setting with more rooms available where people just go on for meetings. It's more of a working space, you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and right now I'm just trying to work for the group events and group bookings for both the companies.
Had a look at the website earlier. It looks amazing.
Well, yeah,
The
that
rooms
yeah.
look
So
stunning.
home house is like it's very historical event. So they have like it's all Victorian and a lot of history, a lot of culture.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks stunning. Tell us about your career so far then.
Well, I moved here 3 years ago to study in UWL, and I was working. My first job, I just started a part-time job as a bartender in Hilton Hotel in South Kensington, and it was pretty fun. I learned how to make drinks, how to drink, and it was super fun. And after that, I felt like it was time to move on after a year or so, and then I got referred to Home House by one of the other bartenders in Hilton. And I came here as a host and I was working for like 2 years. And then now I got promoted to group reservations coordinator because I mean, I learned all the departments and how the ops teams work and how the chefs work, how the kitchen works, and how the members, building the relationship with the members here and client relations and all of that. I felt like it was time for me to step up, and I asked my managers who have been so supportive. I've asked them if there's an opportunity for me to grow in the company, and there was an opening. So I gave an interview and I got the job. So now I'm just trying to work more with all these teams and try to make the guest experience better, basically. It's very
Fantastic.
fast paced. Yeah, it's very fast paced and it's more people focused, but I feel like I feel like I can do it. It's just to grow and like contribute, you know.
And going back to your upbringing in India, when was the first time when were you introduced to hospitality? When did you make that decision that maybe that was going to be the career for you going forward?
Well, I didn't really make a decision that I want to study hospitality, but it was just like I just wanted to experience or study something like which is more focused in one niche, not just business management or
Yeah.
something very like, you know. And yeah, this degree kind of excited me when it was during COVID when I was applying for uni. So I just thought I could give this a shot. And also, given that my dad, he owns a hotel and a bar and a restaurant back in India. So I thought it would be like this. I'd like to go in the same career path as him. So
So you're following in your dad's footsteps then.
yeah, almost kind of.
So he was obviously a big inspiration for you in kind of
Yeah, no,
choosing this
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
path. Okay. But why UWL then? You must have looked at, I suppose, multiple countries' universities. Was there a particular
Yeah.
reason why you chose University of West London?
Well, I had initially applied in Australia, and I wanted to go to Australia, but then it just was easier for me with my family to decide that it was better for me to come to London because I've moved here with my sister. So I just thought it's a
Okay.
better choice to move somewhere with my sister, with someone that I know, rather than moving to another country alone when you're 18, you know.
Yeah.
So London worked out, and I applied for UWL and I got in, and the curriculum looked really interesting. And I could see that they've got different modules, and that also kind of attracted me. So I was like, we should go ahead with this.
And what was your experience of university like?
Well, university was one of the best experiences of my life. The lecturers were amazing, like Ariane, Patrick. They've just been absolute sweethearts, and they have so much industry. Like they have so many connections with the industry, and they're so practical and like so supportive. You could say, like if you ask them for anything, they're extremely like they take you down to a side and then give you a full path on how you could go ahead with what you're looking for. And UWL also had many workshops and fairs where I met you actually in the soft skills workshop, where soft skills, which again we will talk about, which is very important, obviously.
Yeah.
And the in UWL, I also had a chance to go and attend YHS, the Young Hospitality Summit, in Switzerland with EHL, where I met with like we were grouped with different students from different universities, and we had to like pitch an idea for a new product which is sustainable for the hospitality industry, and we did, and we won a wildcard entry to the Sustainable Hospitality Challenge, which was a month later in Montreal again. And surprisingly, we got selected for that. So we went ahead and I grabbed that opportunity as well, obviously. So, which is why I think UWL has so many opportunities. If you just ask and if you just want to do something, the doors are always open. And it's so multicultural, and there's so many events going on in university, and the career fairs, which happen like so often, and there's so much happening. You can see the proper hospitality scene in the UK and globally, even if you really want to go ahead with it. And yeah, it taught me about keeping up with trends and how it prepared me for the real world, honestly. So learning with like all the skills, especially with the modules that we've got, like we had small business where we had to literally create an app, or digital marketing and branding, which helped me to do a side gig as well. And we had this one module called project management where we were the contractors and we had to speak to the owner to literally build a hotel from scratch. And it was like a more of a stimulation program for the whole semester basically. And it was amazing to just work together as a team and like literally build a hotel. We had the same stimulation with revenue management as well, where we use RevSim, where we had to
Mm.
forecast and use segmentation and pricing strategy and all of that, which was exciting as well. And yeah, university was like one of the best experiences of my life, and then it helped me build confidence so much. Like literally, I was an introvert when I moved here. Like I couldn't speak to anyone or anything, and now I'm just like trying to grab every opportunity I get. Like even with the roundtable experience for you, I just saw your LinkedIn post, and I'm like, I want to go. I want to give it a shot, and I met so many amazing people there, and it was one of the best experiences as well.
So just to explain a little bit, I suppose it was the week before last was our roundtable event on bridging the gap, basically where we
Hmm.
brought together commercial leaders from the world of hospitality with some of the top educators from I think 4 or 5 universities in the UK, and you and a couple of other students and recent grads. And I think you mentioned twice in what you were saying earlier about grabbing opportunities. You obviously got in touch on LinkedIn. We put a competition out for a student or a recent grad to, win a place at the event. Um, you were picked randomly. You came. Just tell us a little bit about your experience of it.
Well, first of all, thank you for picking me randomly, and it was very eye-opening. It was a very good experience because I didn't know what I was signing up for. I just thought it's about
Yeah,
revenue management. I'm going to go and meet a few industry professionals, including you, and I know Ariane was going to be there. So I was like, let's just go give it a shot. And we discussed 5 pillars, which were future proofing education and training, attractiveness and perception of hospitality careers, lifelong learning and professional development, skills alignment and talent matching, and evolution of revenue management. So, all these topics were like they were extremely broad, and we had to sit and discuss with literally directors of Ina, I believe her name is, yeah, Ina. She's the director of revenue management, and Jane, who's CEO of Hospa. And
yeah,
it was really interesting because they actually listened to the student's point of view. Like
yeah,
when I was saying my experience about how I feel that students, you know, are thinking or like looking after themselves at uni, and they actually listened to me and they were giving their point of view as well. So they were
yeah,
listening and it was like a proper discussion,
yeah,
and they were including my voice as well, which was really, really interesting. And like I actually felt like really proud of myself in a way. And we discussed about soft skills again, which is very important and transferable, of course, which I use in my job as well right now. And one of the biggest points that we discussed there was how revenue management is just like a 12-week course in most of the universities, which is what we could work upon, is what we were discussing about, and how revenue management is like misunderstood in a way, like it's just accounting or whatever. And we need to use the word
mm,
commercial strategy more than revenue management, or looking at it like an accounts subject, you know, because it's like a mix of accounts, sales, marketing, and the overall guest experience. And we need to understand that it's not just one team, and it's more about cross team and understanding, you know. And that's how we were talking about how we can attract more students to choose revenue management as a career path, because which attracted me as well, because even I studied revenue management as a stimulation course, as I mentioned, for 12 weeks just with RevSim. And if we would have more opportunities to learn more about it, and we did have guest lecturers as well, but if other universities, like the other students, were saying that they didn't have much about it because everyone's just looking at it like a grade, or like just to pass the module, and it's just that we need to take the initiative, like the students need to take the initiative to learn more about revenue management. And even the mentors and the university professors, they need to train and recognize the student's voice, and give them an opportunity if they're interested in a particular theme like revenue management. And Lisa already, she even spoke about, she was trying to make revenue management more accessible, which really interested me because she had so many ideas, and that she also mentioned that she had come up with a course, but no one really took it up because it's not as appealing for students. We just need to make it more appealing and to make it more visible and exciting for students, that would be better, is what we discussed.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
because
think that
students
you,
also bring, sorry.
sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying that students also, like, like we bring fresh ideas as well, and we expect our voice to be heard. So, and if it is, especially, which is what happened in the roundtable event, because they were actually listening to all the students that were there, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is what the students are feeling, and we need to involve them now and make them like at least like small internships, or like give them fresh ideas and like engage with students to increase their curiosity and creativity and bring the energy to try to make revenue management more appealing for them.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're totally right. So often these events happen with educators, with industry leaders, then the students are missing from the conversation. The recent graduates are missing from the
Exactly.
conversation. But actually, you guys are living it, you're studying it, you guys are the boots on the ground that actually you can say, well, here's my experience of my studies, and this is what I feel is missing. Um, so I think it was really important for me when I was putting together the event to have some students and some recent grads. So we had people from the whole kind of process, the educators, yes, the industry leaders, but also you guys that have been on that kind of conveyor belt. Just a note on you though, I think you were in your element. Just looking from where I was sitting and seeing you debating, you were engaged, seeing you chatting over lunch with leaders in revenue management and the hospitality was like brilliant to see. So I'm sure that you'd be invited to the next one, but I'm sure that it was a big
I'd love
benefit to
to.
you.
I'd love to
You were
be
a
there.
big benefit to the event as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was really, really like honored. I felt like really honored to be there because like they were actually listening to me. Like when I was giving a point, like the people that were there were like literally industry leaders. Like they're at a position where I'd probably be in, say, 10 years, like literally. And they actually were listening and trying to get deeper into understanding how a student would feel, and trying to, and I was even offered like to meet with them later in other events, or like networking, which is again good for all the students. Which is why I was like, if we empower the students, with such guest lectures, or even if it's like small networking events, or just having a student from a university who's interested in this, just trying to get out there, if they speak to the professors and tell them that this is what they would like to pursue, they they have a chance to actually go and speak to the industry and the experts and learn more about the theme, and actually try to get a career into it while networking, if they just get their voice out there, you know
Yeah, yeah, 100%. You obviously got a brilliant mindset of grabbing opportunities with both hands. You said that you won the competition, you didn't really know what to expect. Kudos to you for coming along, and you've obviously reaped the benefit of it. Um, how has that attitude benefited you throughout coming to the UK, throughout university, throughout work? That kind of attitude where you grab opportunities, that you say yes, you throw yourself in the deep end and kind of make your own luck. How's that benefited you?
well, it has benefited me in like many ways, because it includes like even while working, like even though it was just like a bar, I started off as a bartender, but then I did also try to like, also like I've been blessed with such managers who, even if I just go and ask them, oh, what is it that you're doing, they actually let me sit beside them, and they're like, this is what I'm doing, like, If you have the will to learn, I feel like they're going to teach you. Because and
Yeah.
if you speak up and if you tell them that this is what you want to learn, this is something you want to pursue, of course, like if you just ask for opportunities, you're going to get it. And that's what I believe in, because I've literally always asked. Like, if you just ask once, it might not work, but if you prove yourself and show it to the people who can help you out, it will help you for sure, like in your career.
I think curiosity is one of those, it's one
100%.
of those
And
qualities that is underrated and undervalued. And I
literally,
always think it's a, yeah,
yeah, it's just to say yes to opportunities and, like,
yeah,
looking after your soft skills and just trying to communicate your point as much as you can, making making yourself noticeable, like putting yourself out there, as
yeah,
difficult as it is, as scary as it is. We are at that stage of our career where we have a degree, we have some sort of experience, but you need to put yourself out there. You need to be different in some way to actually
yeah,
get somewhere.
yeah. I always say in panel discussions and careers fairs and things that to the students, everyone graduates. You know, you may have different kind of class of degrees and there may be some differences, but I think the one thing that you can do to set yourself apart is to just to say yes to opportunities, to podcasts, to panel discussions, to things that can elevate you kind of above. Because obviously you've sat with, so many commercial leaders now that will know you, that will remember you. And I think if you're going to put your hand up and say yes to things and elevate your presence within the industry, I think that's going to kind of take you far. What kind of next for
100.
you then, Richa? What do you want to do with your career? You're obviously in you come through, you mentioned ops role and you've gone on to reservations role at the minute. Is revenue management the next step, something wider commercial, or what's next?
It it is appealing to me, definitely, for sure. But I mean, it's literally my second week, as I mentioned. I can't really quit now.
You've
I
got to
can't
have
really quit now.
goals.
So, of course, I do have goals, no. But what I mean is, I just want to, at least for the next 2, 3 months, I just want to, gather my skills and become good at what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
Become an asset to the company, and after that, which we are also always looking at forecasting for the rooms anyways, for home house and homegrown. And I'm trying to train more in that because I want to go into revenue management as well. But
yeah,
yeah, that's so I'm just trying to learn more about that, how we forecast, how are we using the dynamic pricing, what are the strategies we're trying to use, how are we communicating with the other teams, how are we, I don't know, like marketing it, how are we advertising the company, how are we putting ourselves out there to make us seen as a company.
yeah.
Once I learn that and I'm kind of doing it as well, I'd like to obviously move more into this way and progress in my career slowly. It's just a
10 years
starting step
time,
now. 10 years time, yes, we'll have another interview again.
10 years time, commercial director, potentially.
Yes. And we'll have
I
another interview.
I think you're learning the hard skills at the minute, but you combine them with already really developed soft skills. You've mentioned soft skills a couple of times throughout the interview, so I think that is a killer combination that's going to see you kind of you'll succeed at whatever you put your mind to, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just about your personality. Especially in this industry, you just need to be the person people can talk to, can trust, and know that if you give them a task, you are eligible of actually finishing it and doing a good job while you're at it.
Yeah,
And once people have that trust in you, you're gold.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Bisha, I'll have to let you go because you need to go. You're a busy lady,
I
but
need
thank you
to
so
go.
much for joining me. Genuinely, it's always a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for
And
having me.
I suppose we'll see you at the next commercial leadership meeting in October.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't wait.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
That's all we've got time for this week. Like and share the video because it helps us attract really cool guests like Risha.